Hi guys, welcome back to Spelling and Word Study. My name is Mrs. Rhoades and I'm here to get you started on Unit 12, Long O. Please take a second to gather your materials. You should have your blue book open to page 77. You'll also need some colorful pens, markers, or crayons. Remember, whatever I mark up on my board, you should be marking on your page. Please save room for a key as well. If that doesn't fit on this page, a separate sheet of paper is fine. If at any point I'm going too fast, please pause the video and catch up. All right, so we are in the middle of a unit on long vowels. So far we've talked about long A, long E, and long I. Today we're going to talk about long O. Remember, a long vowel says its name, so in all these words, you will hear the letter O saying O. Now, there are three common ways to make a vowel say its name. You can use a silent E, you can use a vowel team, or you can use an open syllable. We will see examples of all three of those today. But first, please, let's read our words. You'll notice that I already broke the words into syllables and checked off the stressed syllable. So as we read the words, notice the part that has that orange check mark. We're going to read that part a little bit louder and a little bit stronger, okay? If you want to pause the video right now to go through and mark off the words, you can do that as well. Here we go. Although, approach, bonus, broken, close, donut, focus, hostess, moment, open, poem, rodent, slogan, thorough, token. Did you hear that O sound in each word? Great. Okay, if you haven't already, please mark up your key. Remember, the red line represents our syllable breaks, and the orange check represents our stressed syllables. Okay, so now let's start looking for our long O in each word. So I told you that a common way to make a vowel say its name is to use a vowel team. We already saw that with long A. We saw teams like AI and AY. We saw that with long E. We had vowel teams like EE and EA. Long I, we saw IE, but we also saw an IGH combination. This week, I want to draw your attention to another common vowel team, that OUGH. Now, OUGH is probably the trickiest pattern in the English language. It actually has 6 different pronunciations depending on the word. But this week, we are only focusing on OUGH, which says O, in words like although and donut and thorough, okay? So over here in our key, blue rectangle represents long O, which is being made through this team, OUGH. Now we have another vowel team. You might have noticed the OA in approach. That's probably the first long O vowel team that you learned back in 1st grade or 2nd grade. We see it in words like boat and road. So here it is in approach. I don't see it anywhere else, but pink box equals long O because of the OA team. Okay, now we have to be careful. Just because 2 vowels are next to each other in a word doesn't mean they're going to make a vowel team. So for instance, if you look at the O and the E in poem, they're each doing their own job, separate syllables, po-em. So I wouldn't consider that O-E a vowel team. Okay, that's all we have for vowel teams. If you look at the word close, though, you'll notice we have this silent E jumping over the TH, making the O say its name. If we didn't have that E there, the word would say cloths. But that E makes the long O, so it's close. So over here, that little brown circle with the arrow also represents a long O because of silent E, okay? Those silent E combinations are much more common in the shorter words, so you focused on those a lot in first grade and second grade. Our third way to make a vowel say its name is to use an open syllable, and this is definitely the most common method when we get to bigger words. So if you look at bonus and broken and focus, you'll notice they all end with the letter O saying its name. So bonus, broken, and focus. We have moment and open, poem and rodent, slogan and token. So in all of these examples, we have a long O thanks to an open syllable. Okay, there's one word left here, and that is the word hostess. You see that OST pattern? That's a tricky one. You probably noticed back in first or second grade that sometimes it makes a long O sound in words like host or most or post, right? But sometimes it can make a more of a short O sound in words like cost or lost. So that's just a weird combination that we have to memorize. We don't have too many words in our language that use that pattern. Okay, so we have found the long O in all of our words. We've talked about the various methods for making an O say its name. So now what I want to do is look a little bit at word parts, starting with suffixes. So if we go back to hostess, we know what a host is, right? That is a person who entertains you. You go to their house for a party and they offer you a seat and a cold drink, right? They're being a good host. Well, sometimes we call our host a hostess. And all that means is that it's a female host, okay? So if you look at the English language, you will notice there are lots of examples where we have an ESS suffix telling us that the person doing the job is female. So for instance, you might see an actor or an actress. That would be a female actor. You might see a waiter or a waitress, female server. You might see a steward, that is somebody that takes care of you while you're on a plane, or you might see a stewardess. That would be a female flight attendant. Notice a lot of these words have fallen out of favor. Instead of calling people stewards and stewardesses, we tend to call them flight attendants. Instead of calling them waiters and waitresses, we tend to call them servers. Instead of calling, separating actors and actresses, we tend to call them all actors. So it seems like this suffix is falling a little bit out of fashion. But when you do see it in a word, just know that it's indicating that whatever this person is, they are female. So over here, purple box equals suffix. I don't see any other suffixes on our list this week. And I don't see Well, I see a couple prefixes, none that I want to talk about right now, but I do want to get you ready for page 80, because on page 80, you are going to learn a new prefix. So last week, you learned the prefix multi. You know that multi means many, like you take a multivitamin, so you can have many different vitamins. You wear a multicolored dress that has many different colors. Well, this week we're going to learn about the prefix D, D-E. Now, D-E has a few different meanings, but one of the most common meanings is to take away. So people used to declaw their indoor cats because they didn't want them scratching the furniture. If you declaw a cat, you're taking away its claws. If you dethrone a king or queen, you're taking away their kingdom. You're literally taking the throne away from them. Here's a word that fits our pattern this week, odor, right? An odor is a bad smell. If you deodorize, you're taking away bad odors. If you use deodorant, that is taking away bad odors from your armpits. Here's a word that you know, uses silent E to make the O say its name. The word is code. You know what a code is, right? It's something that's hard to figure out. It's like a secret code. You have to crack it, right? When you learn to read, you are learning how to decode. When you decode, you take away the code. You take away the mystery. You're like, oh, that's what all these letters and squiggles represent. You are decoding. So when you get to page 80, you are going to practice adding this D prefix to a whole bunch of words to give them new meanings, and then you're going to fill them in the blanks on the bottom of the page. Okay, so before I let you go, let's just make sure we know what all of our words mean, okay? Although is a word that means but, right? So I'd like to go out for pizza tonight, although Chinese food sounds good too, right? I could substitute the word although for but. To approach somebody or something means to come near, okay? So you should not approach wild animals, right? Because maybe they have rabies, maybe they're just trying to do their own thing and we don't want to bother them. So to approach is to come near. Bonus means extra. So maybe at the end of the year, your boss gives you a bonus, a little bit of extra money. Maybe if you're playing a video game, you do really well and you earn bonus points or bonus lives. Those would be extra. Broken means that something has broke and now it's broken. So there's another suffix right there, right? We can put that in purple, right? I feel like in the past we talked about how en can turn something into a verb. So to make something hard, you harden it. To make something soft, you soften it. But here we're taking a verb and turning it into an adjective. Something is broken or golden. Okay, so we know what that word means. Clothes, those are things you wear. Notice that clothes is always plural, right? So when you throw the dirty clothes in the hamper, you're not putting in one piece of clothing, you're putting in a whole bunch. A donut, delicious breakfast treat, right? To focus means to zoom in. So you can either focus your camera so that you can see clearly what's on the other side of the lens, or you can focus your attention, right? If you're trying really hard to learn something, you have to focus, you have to zoom in. We talked about a hostess. That would be a lady who entertains or throws a party. A moment would be like a quick second. Open, you know. A poem is a type of writing. It tends to be a lot shorter than stories and much more descriptive. A rodent is a gnawing mammal. A small gnawing mammal. Okay, by gnawing I mean an animal that likes to chew on stuff. So think about a mouse, a rat, a beaver, a chipmunk. Those would all be examples of rodents. They have those sharp teeth that are good for gnawing. A slogan is a saying. So if you think about your favorite brands, McDonald's, I'm loving it. Nike, just do it. Dunkin' Donuts, America runs on Dunkin'. Those are all slogans, catchy little phrases or sayings that companies come up with. If you are thorough, it means you are careful and detailed. So if you are, let's say you've been on vacation for a week and now it's time to go home, before you leave, you're gonna do a thorough check of your hotel room. Make sure you didn't leave any dirty socks under the bed. Make sure you didn't leave your phone charger plugged in. You're gonna be very thorough as you check the room. And then our last word is token. And a token is like a small chip or coin. A chip or coin that can be traded in. So if you go to a carnival or you go to an arcade, you might pay the cashier some money and then she'll give you tokens. And you can use those tokens to go on rides, to play games, maybe to buy snacks. So they're not real money, but they represent money. All right, that's all I have for you guys today. Good luck, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.